All right, round two. I mean, 3, 4, 3. I guess we got kicked off twice, but it's okay. It's okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Your friendly neighborhood emergency manager here, Zana, in the house. And I'm so happy to see all of you back. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, we got already. The viewership on X is climbing. Whoa. 300 viewers on X. Whoa, that's cool. That's cool. All right, our X Twitter people, you know, if you are tuning in, you are more than welcome to come to our YouTube channel. This is where we do majority of the chats. And same handle. It's exactly the same handle as this. Thank you. You guys are. Thank you so much for coming back. I know this is my come back live streaming, and boom, all of this happening. Pigeon is here, TF is here. Yes, I love it. Okay, so last live stream we did get kicked off twice. I'm not sure why, but this time around we're actually going to put fair use because we're just streaming some news and everything. So we're doing the fair use. So what happened is we were watching the press conference, and as soon as the press conference, the news station kicked off straight into what is happening in Hollywood Hills right now. So we were actually watching from the very, very beginning when it was just a small fire to expanding what is happening right now. And I'm about to pull up a couple newscasts again. Thank you. Thank you, April. Welcome. Let me get some little banner setups because you know what? There's immediate evacuation orders. Hollywood Hills on fire. So evacuation is Laurel Canyon Boulevard, Mulholland Drive on the north, 101 Freeway on the east, and down the Hollywood Boulevard on the south. So leave now. Also, if you're affected, the Airbnb is offering 1 week free for evacuees. So call 211 from the area where you're at the moment. Okay, so listening and driving. Nice. Let's get back into the news. And then we're also going to put this up, fair use. There you go, fair use content. Because it's fair use content. We are not going to get kicked off again. Okay, your friendly neighborhood emergency manager is in the house. Back again. I did get some food in me. And we are ready to continue on to see the coverage of what is happening on the ground. Okay, so let's do this because they are live in Hollywood.
Evacuation orders.
Okay, and we back.
Yeah, that's right. Very chaotic out here. A lot of people just rushing to make their way out. Very heavy traffic coming up here. It took us at least 20 minutes to come up to this intersection from Hollywood Boulevard, which was just a few blocks away. But people just really trying to make their way out as soon as possible. The smoke has gone in really thick. There is a lot of ash raining from the skies. People just trying to do their best to get what they can before they leave. And I want to walk this way.
Whoa, we
saw this man who was hosing down some of the sidewalk and some of the trees.
Welcome,
Sir,
guys. Welcome.
Hi, sorry to interrupt you. My name is Amber with NBC. Do you live in this complex?
Yeah, I live right here.
What's your name?
Lawrence.
Okay. So, I mean, what's going through your mind right now?
Oh my gosh, this is my whole life right here. You know, I spent my whole life savings to get my condo here, and so I lost my family during COVID.
Oh my
and so
God,
I don't really have anybody to call or anything, so it feels a little bit
so sad.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are people still in the complex?
A lot of people have left, but a lot of people are staying too. You know.
Welcome.
I think we're going to be okay. I hope so. I mean, all these fire trucks are going up there, but you know, you never know. I mean, you got all these mansions right here. If they catch on fires, we're in real trouble.
What's your plan? Are you staying?
Horrific.
I'm gonna stay right until it catches. If it catches on fire, I'll leave.
Horrific.
Yeah, I have my 2 Bengal cats in here, and I don't know, they're freaking out.
Nice.
So I'd have to take them with me, but I don't know where I would go. Just in my car, I guess.
You're ready to go at least.
I am ready to go. I've been working on this condo since I bought it. Like every piece of it,
So sorry.
So
well, we're
ready to start renting it, and it's like, no, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
it's not gonna get all the way
down.
down.
The most important fire in LA. It has to be.
We're
right here,
there?
Hollywood Highlands.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
He's all right.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All
right, guys. Well, I'm gonna step aside so you could take a look a little bit.
Is he drinking? Wait,
is he continue walking this way closer to the complex? You can see some of the people that appear to be just heading out with their suitcases in tow.
But hey, I don't
hear
blame him. If he wants to have a drink right now.
Fire alarm going off in the background is probably because of all this smoke we're breathing. Let's see if we can speak with this woman here. Hi, ma'am. How are you doing? My name is Amber. I'm a reporter with NBC. You live here?
And this area, yeah.
Might as well drink.
Where are you headed?
I got my San Pellegrino this time around.
My son-in-law will pick me up. I'll go to his place, Santa Monica.
How are you feeling?
It's stressful. It's extremely stressful, man.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nice. We're at 1,200
so if we continue to walk this way, coming up onto these streets, it was pretty busy, a lot of traffic, but it does look like for the most part in this area, people have made their way out. It's a lot quieter than when we were up here just about 30 minutes ago, but this fire is really spreading fast. We were notified about it just about an hour and a half ago, and already seeing these evacuations are just hard to take in. As you can see, a lot of people making their way out. Conditions out here getting a little worse, I would say. The wind is not as strong, luckily, as we've seen, yesterday or earlier today, but the smoke is thick, a lot of ash raining from the sky. So just like we've heard from authorities, if you have received an evacuation warning, make sure you do listen to those warnings and make your way out. Reporting live, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
All right, Amber, thank you for that. Now, on the right side of your screen, what we're looking at is a live picture from News Chopper 4. You can see one of our ground units was on the left-hand side of the screen. We're going to go topside right now to Julia Deng. Julia, you've been on this from the beginning. What's it looking like to you right now?
Colleen, this firefight is still underway. You saw that helicopter, that LAFD fire helicopter, that just a water drop here, and that was on a different flank of the fire. That was on the southern flank. Earlier, we were talking about how most of that aerial firefight was concentrated on the western portion of this fire. A lot of that has now been knocked down, but the latest we're hearing right now, we're listening to scanner traffic, we're getting alerts on our phone, and of course, we're watching what's happening.
They weren't able to dump the water last night. They didn't have any capabilities or anything that was able to deploy right away. But now they're on this fire, they're dumping a lot of water, which is hopefully they're going to be able to contain it. But you know what? We were here from the very beginning when the fire started, and we're going to sit this one out until I cannot do this anymore. So
I think they're congregating around the corner now over on Curson Avenue. But again, anybody in this area, anybody who's thinking about coming back to grab things from their homes, that is not a good idea. We're seeing people scramble to get out. Somebody was coming down the hill on an electric scooter earlier. We've seen people running down the hill. A lot of people driving out. Fortunately, we did not see the apocalyptic scenes we saw yesterday on Pacific Coast Highway, where people were abandoning their vehicles and just running through clouds of smoke. They were forced to get out in such a rush yesterday. People left their blinkers on. They left bags of groceries in their cars. They were in the middle of their day when it happened. So this firefight tonight, this one in the Hollywood Hills, this really is like day and night. I mean, we have aerial firefighting resources now. The winds are nowhere near as bad, and we can feel the difference at the News Chopper 4 between wind conditions just a couple hours ago over the Palisades Fire and tonight over Hollywood. You can probably tell from our picture, too, as I zoom in on some of these trees, this dry brush that's burning. Look at these palm trees I'm going to zoom in on. They're not flapping in the wind quite the same way as what we saw over in Altadena and over in the Palisades earlier, but these embers are still flying. All it takes is one, and these embers can fly miles through the air. So it's not unheard of for this to jump 2 or 3 blocks down to that home on Sierra Bonita that was at the center of a frantic firefight. Thank goodness there were already fire resources on scene, on the ground and in the air. LAFD calling their helicopters their workhorses. Thank goodness they can launch tonight. And we are watching this from upstairs, just west of this fire, because fortunately we can now fly. We are no longer grounded by the extreme historic winds that spread the other fires we've been covering. So it looks to me like this is under control for now, but we're still waiting for an update on acreage and containment.
And we're not out of the woods yet, Julia, as we stay with your shot here. We know that you guys have to go refuel in just a moment. But Julia, you know, quickly, you mentioned earlier when I was talking to you that you could barely hold your joystick to man the camera because it was just it was that windy when you were over the, I believe, I don't know if remember, it was Palisades, I believe it was, or Eaton Fire. Regardless, the conditions sound like they've gotten better. Are you continuing to see the aerial attack on this particular fire now, the Sunset Fire?
We're still seeing the aerial attack here. The frequency of the water drops from the firefighting helicopters, it seems to have lessened just a bit. But as I zoom out, you can see some of those spotlights. Those are the night sunlights from these LAFD and LA County firefighter helicopters. So we're not seeing anything right now, but I bet you if we can stay on station for a little bit longer and hold this shot, we would see additional water drops. One thing I do want to note, we don't know anything about the cause of this fire just yet, but we did see what looked like a drone.
All right, so check this out. So I did find a pretty interesting video on Citizen, and this is from like when it was just starting and the fire crew has arrived. So let's watch this. So it looks like there's fire crews are arriving. Whoa, there's a palm tree. So also there are quite a few people are saying there's no cell phone coverage or like cell tower coverage around the area. So another reason why I don't think a lot of people are live streaming at the moment. But
I'm trying to get the chopper. It's dropping shit.
some videos that we have seen where just like, come on, dude, yes, it's a fire. It's a big red fire.
Embers
Across the hill. You might want to evacuate.
Man, look at that palm tree. Big ass piece of it just fall off.
Ooh. So that was earlier today, like earlier in the hours. Like right when it started, the fire crews arrived, and this looks like some newscast over here. Get out of the way, man. Get out of the way. Yeah, lots with delay is for sure. Wow. And, let's see what's going on the other stations. What is this guy? And let's see. Let's see, what is this guy saying?
would face calamity if we had a wind shift, if you have a dramatic gust that is propulsion of this fire, because it rapidly makes its way up the canyon wall, which is where we are. It goes down slowly. Of course, as we've said before, when it goes up the canyon, it preheats the vegetation ahead of it, which doesn't take long because it is so dry. The vegetation, the chaparral, the manzanita, the California scrub brush. So that isn't a problem. Now, we do have a couple of engine companies here. Station 30 out of Hollywood. They know this neighborhood pretty well. They're here. Talk to them. Structure protection, just in case those flames make their way this way. But yeah, based on what we have seen earlier, there's such a difference between what we've saw, the calamity, the horror that was the Pacific Palisades and continues to be, and what we saw in Altadena and Pasadena and the Eaton fire that started in Eaton Canyon, part of the Angeles National Forest, and it continues to burn. But from what we saw later this evening, the calamity there, the worst seems to be over in terms of, again, so many homes being put in harm's way in that fire. In this fire, when we first heard the call that there was a fire in the canyon here in Laurel Canyon, we are south of Mulholland, we are east of Laurel Canyon. We thought about the 1982 fire that lost scores of homes and the fact that there's just so much of what we call the rural-urban interface, so many homes that abut against the rural wildland. And that is a beautiful place to live, but it's an awful place to be in the case of a fire. But as we said, yeah, some major, a dramatic change over the past 45 minutes from what we saw here, and certainly when we first arrived, to what we're seeing here right now. It's not out, it's not extinguished, and Lord knows that a gust of wind can ignite, adding the fuel, adding the oxygen to the fire, and you're going to see a couple of more spot fires in this general vicinity. So it's going to be a long evening, but
All right,
this is a very promising sign.
Let's see what we can find.
It is a very good sight to see. All right. And we have some new information now. CAL FIRE is putting the acreage of this right now at 50 acres.
And we don't know how many people have been evacuated from the Sunset Fire evacuation zone right now.
It's very dangerous
evacuation orders, but we did get an update from the LA County Sheriff's Department tonight. They have set up an evacuation center for the Sunset Fire at the Pan Pacific Rec Center that's located at 7600 Beverly Boulevard in the city of Los Angeles. That is according to an update from the LA Fire Department. Again, an evacuation center now open for the Sunset Fire, established at the Pan Pacific Rec Center located at 7600 Beverly Boulevard.
Progress being made because of the water drops, but also the weather tonight. Meteorologist David Bigger is here with more on conditions around the Sunset Fire.
I just wanted to add on to a little point there that
your mic is low.
How there's still some spot fires in the area, and that will be a continued focus for firefighters tonight. Even after they stop the forward progress of it,
that's crazy.
There's a lot of what we call moderate to heavy fuel in the area. That's the kind of fuel that once you ignite it, it burns for a while. It can burn for hours or even days. And they'll definitely be keeping an eye on that because it will likely still be smoldering as we see another little pickup in the winds as we get into tomorrow and early Friday. But again, it will not be nearly as strong as the winds last night. Here's a look at the current conditions out there near the Sunset Fire. Right now, we have wind gusts around 25 miles an hour, a bit higher up in elevation.
So good.
Closer to the floor here, closer to the base. And we're looking at WeHo seeing gusts about 10 miles an hour. And in Hollywood itself, it's just light and variable winds. But that's actually another interesting point to this. You see the wind directions are kind of all over the place here. That is making it a little bit of a challenge for firefighters. But any of the...
Can we kind of cut it off just to kind of take a peek on the way home?
All right, so what's going on in here? Let's see. Aerial view. It's still burning. It's freaking crazy the fact that we just started watching it like from the very, very beginning. I'll have to cut it down and then compile it as a one video because we did get striked a couple times for I don't know why, but this is fair use content. It's 100% fair use content. That's crazy. It's still burning. All right, let's see what they're saying at the CTU. All right.
And Fuller and Amber Franklin is one of these streets we've seen heavily impacted by those who are trying to escape, under these mandatory evacuation orders.
I want to hear from those people, from this.
Yeah, that's right. Very chaotic out here. A lot of people just rushing to make their way out. Very heavy traffic coming up here. It took us at least 20 minutes to come up to this intersection from Hollywood Boulevard, which was just a few blocks away. But people just really trying to make their way out as soon as possible. The smoke has gone in really thick. There is a lot of ash raining from the skies. People just trying to do their best to get what they can before they leave. And I want to walk this way. We saw this man who was hosing down some of the sidewalk and some of the trees. Sir?
Yeah.
Hi, sorry to interrupt you. My name is Amber with NBC.
We watched this guy.
You live in this complex?
Yeah, I live right here.
What's your name?
Okay, we watched this
Lawrence.
Okay. So, I mean, what's going through your mind right now?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
This is my whole life right here.
This is the guy
I spent my whole life savings to get my condo here. And so I lost my family during COVID. And so I don't really have anybody to call or anything. So it feels a little bit scary, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are people still in the complex?
A lot of people have left, but a lot of people are staying too, I think we're going to be okay. I hope so. I mean, all these fire trucks are going up there, but, you never know. I mean, you got all these mansions right here. If they catch on fires, we're in real trouble.
What's your plan? Are you staying?
I'm going to.
This one right here is. Sorry. That was loud. That was loud for my ears too. Wait, I have a tab open that was like, that was loud. All right, let's try this again. So this one is ABC 7, the aerial view. Oh, looks like some structures. Structures are already burning down. Okay, let's see. Yeah, looks like some structures, fire ups. Hollywood Hills striking mandatory evacuations. Okay, let's see what else we can find. Well, it looks like it's not a lot of people are really covering. Yeah, it looks like it's getting contained. Yeah, he totally was. He was like, yeah, I'm just hosing this down, All right, this is a bit loud. So let's. He's like, yeah, I'm totally hosing this down. Oh, okay. So, whoa, house collapsing, entire neighborhood on fire. Let's see what we can find. God, geez, that's crazy. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to see the rest of the stuff that's actually happening. Let's come back to this
could have been
live.
impacted or have been impacted by this fire. And you see how far south it went, Mountain View Cemetery. If you live in Altadena or Pasadena and you know where Mountain View Cemetery is, you can tell just how far down. I mean, almost look at the fire footprint on this. This almost came to the 210 freeway is how far down this one. You have your last little hot spots here. And this is the 210 freeway. So we're talking about significant distances that the fire has burned. We've talked about it with all of the fires that we've been covering, the Palisades Fire specifically, and how far to the west and the east even that went. And you can see there's also significant growth up in the mountains here as well, from the Eaton Fire up into
all of those buildings.
Mount Wilson is up here as well. Those are some of the cameras that I was showing you last night. And then you see where it pushed to the east. into some of these other cities. This is Sierra Madre Boulevard. This is
Wow,
you know, a
look at
cluster
all
of
those
homes right up here
buildings.
against the foothill that the fire
Why
burned
is
through. So
nobody else
we're
is
really getting a
covering
good
this?
vantage point here of where the fire burned. I'm going to turn back on those evacuation areas here because you can see how large of an evacuation area is, including over here. It actually pushed up earlier today, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, parts of Glendale, even up here along the 210 corridor in La Crescenta, even had an evacuation warning. They still are under mandatory evacuations. And I want to leave you guys with just one thing here because I want to show you look at all of I can't look at this enough because it's just so jarring to me to see how much of our region is under an evacuation order tonight. When you look at the Palisades Fire and how much is burned there and what's under evacuation,
Hey, we have
and then you have
1,400
the
viewers
Hearst
on
Fire
Twitter.
from last night that's still burning
Celebrate.
today. Then you have the
Come
Lydia
to,
Fire that
come to
burned
YouTube if you want to
briefly,
chat.
luckily was knocked down pretty quickly, and then the Eaton Fire. And just seeing so many of these areas on our maps, and you look at the Eaton Fire and the Lydia Fire from today, and the two evacuations for the fires almost joined together because of where everything is at. You can see there's just a little bit of a mountain area here that didn't have to be evacuated. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's really anybody up there. I quickly want to leave you with the Sunset Fire. Take you to SkyCal real quick and show you how much better the scene looks over there. You can see one of the helicopters still flying around, but it is mostly dark. We see pockets of flames a little bit there, but certainly a much better situation. This is how we usually see the Hollywood Hills at night, which is dark. We like to continue to see it dark because that means there's fire is largely being mopped up in the mop-up phases, the cleanup phases right now. Certainly put on a good show for everyone tonight, though, guys. And it's just really remarkable that we had those helicopters there to get that under control. The last thing we needed is a fire in that area. And I just can't help but think what would have happened if that fire had happened last night in that area. I think we'd be in for a much different situation. So as Tom mentioned, weather conditions helped play a great role today in making sure that this was a better situation than it was yesterday.
Wow.
We were just talking here about we'll appreciate any good news
anything we can take
we can get, and that certainly is good news and very
that was pretty amazing.
Retrospective. There's no question about that happened yesterday. Can you imagine, guys?
I mean, there's just so many homes in the Hollywood Hills, but then so many neighborhoods on. I mean, Hollywood. This is totally
somebody
surrounded,
doesn't believe me that this guy
the valleys
totally
to the north, the cities to
taking
the south, the homes to the west, the 101 to the east.
see.
It's just it would have been a much different situation had that fire started.
Let's see. Let's just have like a little bit
more proof,
of
what we can do in Southern California.
Let's have just like a little bit of relaxed time in here, just a tidbit, because this is heavy. This is like really heavy. Okay, so this is really heavy, and we've been covering this all day. Plus, I do still have to do some homework today. So let's so I think he is. I think he was definitely hosing down something. Let's see.
Who was hosing down some of the sidewalk and some of the trees. Sir?
Yeah.
Hi, sorry to interrupt you. My name is Amber with NBC.
So I think he was hosing down something. And then towards the end, like when he was talking, towards the end, I think he pulled out. Is that the water bottle, or is it a?
Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna. Sorry, I'm gonna step aside so you could take a look a little bit. If we continue walking this way, closer to the complex, you can see some of the people that appear to be just heading out with their suit.
Okay, so he was tying his pants. Yeah. Oh man, this is crazy.
Right now, we want to get to our Amber Frias. She's live in Hollywood at Franklin and Fuller. And Amber, Franklin is one of these streets we've seen heavily impacted by those who are trying to escape, under these mandatory evacuation orders.
Or bottled water.
Yeah, that's right. Very chaotic out here. A lot of people just rushing to make their way out. Very heavy traffic coming up here. It took us at least 20 minutes to come up to this intersection from Hollywood Boulevard, which was just a few blocks away. But people just really trying to make their way out as soon as possible. The smoke has gone in really thick. There is a lot of ash raining from the skies. People just trying to do their best to get what they can before they leave. And I want to walk this way We saw this man who was hosing down some of the sidewalk and some of the trees. Sir?
Yeah.
Hi, sorry to interrupt you. My name is Amber
Yeah.
with
There it is.
NBC.
Oh my God.
Do you
I
live
think
in this
I
complex?
I live right
honestly
here.
think
What's your name?
they're
Lawrence.
yeah, I honestly think they're just playing this on a repeat. Because they're like the guy. You know, they're like the guy. They're like the guy that was hosing down stuff. Let's find another feed. And I think let's see, we're in about 30 minutes and you know, it looks like the fire is dying down, which is good, which is really good. But sure we're gonna hear about devastation later.
A very dangerous place to be right now, as much of Southern California continues to be a very dangerous place to be. Suma, I don't know if you can see that eucalyptus tree right there, but you can show people just to your left of where the fire, of the wind that still continues to flow here and to blow
That's a
here
very
in the
tiny
Hollywood
wind.
Hills. So
Here's the hoser.
this is your example, everybody. This is the perfect example
Here's the
of
hoser.
exactly what can happen tonight, of what we have witnessed throughout the last 48 hours. Just one ember can start trouble. And when
It's
we
late
talk
at night,
about trouble,
you know, I don't
this
blame
could
him.
take
He wants
off
to take a
here
drink.
in Nichols Canyon and just shoot right up the hill. Where the fire, the base of the fire is, can't even see it. Don't even know where it is. It's somewhere over there near Runyon. But right now, an ember, one single ember, maybe a couple, started what we're looking at here. And a short time ago, it was far worse until they hit it with the aerial assault above. And right now, you see here, you've got a number of people from LAFD that are coming to it. But again, let me just show you right here.
I can't hear you, man.
That
I
neighbors
can't hear you. Oh yeah,
and
hey
those people
Lisa.
who decided they weren't going to
Come
evacuate,
on.
they filled up and they tried to get the water on the fire. And as we were driving down Nichols Canyon, we saw them just taking care of other little spot fires, just little fires on the side of the road. But you know, it only takes a little fire. How did Palisades burn? It only took a little fire in the backyard to create this. How did this fire start? It only takes a little fire. So this little fire could possibly become something else indeed. And that is why we have the LAFD here. That is why they're hitting it from the air and why they're about to hit it from the ground. And that is why we see the LAPD continuing to circle and telling people to please get out, because this is not over yet.
All right, Robert Kovacic reporting live for us. Robert, thank you. To get a real perspective on how tremendous the firefight has been on this since it first broke out at about 5:30 this afternoon. We're going to go back upside, or topside actually, to Julia Deng in News Chopper 4. Julia, in just what, 3.5 hours, look at the progress on this.
Yeah, this is a very different picture, Colleen. We spotted this from miles out when we were over the Palisades Fire earlier. When I signed off with you guys about an hour ago, we had to land and get fuel. It did not look like this. I'm going to zoom all the way out and show you what we're seeing from about 3,000 feet above where Robert was just reporting from. We were worried about that eastern flank earlier. That was burning out of control. We don't see any of those active flames anymore. The back of this fire, the northernmost portion of it, that's also completely knocked out. It was this western portion they attacked first, especially using LAFD helicopters because this was so close to homes. You can see those LAPD officers still on the ground. Robert pointed that out. They're still going door to door, making sure everybody got out okay. But we don't see flames here anymore. We do have some of these hot spots. You can see embers still flying through the air. We've got a little bit of flaming debris, especially down below the heel of the fire, the southernmost portion of it. But for the most part, it looks to me like this is under control. As I zoom back out and move the camera to the south, you can see the traffic in Hollywood has lightened up as well. Earlier, we had thousands of people trying to get out. Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, Franklin Avenue, all completely backed out as firefighters were starting to try and get in as well. But look at this. Very different picture. Something new that's happening now that we didn't notice earlier. These LAFD helicopters, they're not just doing water drops now, but they're flying around the perimeter of this fire. They have their night sun lights on, that bright spotlight. And I know our viewers are familiar with that because that's what we see during police pursuits from the law enforcement airships. But it looks like they're trying to scope out where the problem areas might be, which areas of dry brush might flare up again. And that's where they're flying down low, circling around, and then coming back to do water drops. We still had LAFD helicopters up here. At last count, we had 3 up here with News Chopper 4. So they're going back and forth, picking up more water and continuing to do these water drops.
Is it better now?
We've got one right over here, shining that bright light,
There we go.
dropping more water. This part of the fire, the heel of the fire to the south, still burning. I'm going to go in tight and just give you one last look at this before we clear out and head back out west. That's where the Palisades Fire is still burning out of control tonight.
At least it's
All
not
right, Julia,
burning
thank you.
like
We want to
when it
let
used
you know
to.
that the latest acreage we have on this is 50 acres burned so far, 0% containment. And no doubt that has to do with the number of hotspots out there and the fact that firefighters will be out there trying to get the upper hand on these and watching them throughout the evening.
All right, Julia Ding, keeping a very close eye on this, going to make her way over to the Palisades Fire here. Also, one of the biggest fires burning here in Southern California. Of course, we are committed to staying on the air 24/7 to bring you the very latest on these devastating wildfires.
Thanks,
And with that, and to help us with that, we have brought in reporters from our NBC and Telemundo stations across the country, including Dave Summers from our affiliate in San Diego. He joins us live now from Altadena. Dave.
Yeah, we're on Mendocino Street near Lake Avenue, and we may be in front of the last standing home or structure in this 3-block area. We've seen 2 walls come down already and 2 more still standing. And based on what we have seen here, they won't be up too much longer. What we're paying attention to, and I'm sure firefighters are as well, is the wind. It is considerably less strong than last night. And as you see this ash flow going up and over the tree, that's going anywhere from 100 to 200 feet, not a mile or 2 miles, which is what we are experiencing, obviously, last night with those gusting winds. So there's 2 jobs tonight for firefighters, really. And the first is tactical patrol. And tactical patrol is when firefighters are out in the neighborhoods and they're looking for hot spots or they're looking for small fires flared up in landscape or in front of or near homes that are still preserved, that are not burned. And so they want to make sure they keep those under control. And then, of course, the other is exposure protection, which we showed you an example of a few hours ago. We were by a home completely engulfed in flames, but firefighters were there, 2 of them, with a 2-inch line, just kind of surround and drowning the house next to it to make sure that it didn't catch fire, rather than spend 6 firefighters to put out the flames right next door. And this really has been a lot of the strategy these last 2 days. The sense of the firefighting here is that if it's already on fire, if there's already a fire inside the home, rather than spend the manpower in the time to put it out and risk 6 other homes catching fire someplace else, they're letting that burn and protecting the homes that are untouched instead. And this is just how it's been between the number of people they have to work, the time, the water supply, and the winds. This has been the strategy, and it continues tonight. The wind here tonight is actually not bad. We have really mild temperatures, and the wind itself is more like a breeze. It's not exceptionally cold, which is probably helpful, and it is certainly not the wind that we were experiencing last night.
Dave, we know you've been out there on the Altadena fire, the Eden fire, all day long. What is the thing that has struck you the most about all of this?
Well, I'm getting to know the community. As you mentioned, I came up from San Diego just to lend a hand, and I'm really getting to know the community. It's just really wonderful people, and this is an area they tell me that is an historic area. A lot of remodeled homes and a lot of small homes on larger properties and multiple structures on larger properties, and many of which have been burned down. So it's a shared sadness, obviously. And I also noticed, just some of the things that people were pulled out away from their house so they wouldn't get burned. And it's a very sad moment. To see the things that were pulled out, antique chairs or coffee tables, and you could just kind of see,
somebody's trying to steal an
based
antique
on what was
surfboard
pulled out, you could just kind of see the panic
while there's a live
in
live
all of this,
stream.
in the suddenness of all of it, and that kind of one of the things that really struck me. And of course, the other thing is what all the reporters have been talking around, all in these areas in the Palisades here and elsewhere. So many homes destroyed. When I showed up this afternoon, the number was about 100 here, and there's got to be 500. It seems like the majority of the homes in the neighborhoods that we've been in have been destroyed, and very few are still there. I also found out that some of the homes that were salvaged, the homeowners are telling me that they waited it out and they kept their hoses going and their irrigation systems going.
All right, so check this out. I'm yawning. I'm tired. There's a lot of coverage that happened today. I appreciate all of you sticking around with me for live stream number 3. I think I'm gonna have to cut it down in some pieces and everything. We'll see how it all's gonna go. But you know what? I still have to finish up some homework tonight and some orders that I need to ship tomorrow morning, stuff like that. Okay, get some rest, update us tomorrow, Fable. Okay, I'm going to try. I have to schedule my day out tomorrow because I have quite a few things to do during the day because we still have to make that money. Let's see. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. This was a fantastic live. It's like, hey, welcome back, Xana, to streaming, right? Let's just do 5 hours of streaming, of nothing but streaming, right? Oh, that's too funny. Okay, so yes, Ember, thank you. Yeah, good night all. What is it? Mayor Valet and Navin Gruesome. Navin Gruesome, that's funny. Okay. Aside from the total destruction of my city part, yeah, I'm so sorry. It's devastating. Like this whole scenario, that like everything else, between all of this lives lost and all of the structures lost and people losing their houses, and it's if any kind of disaster, man-made, nature, any kind of disaster, when anything of that thing happens, is just devastating. But sometimes I'm here to try to cover it, to kind of like explain some of the things that are happening either on the ground or whatever I can make sense of, and because your friendly neighborhood emergency manager Xana, right? And yeah, so it's late, and then hopefully we'll not get those interruptions again, because that was interesting. That was very interesting. And then great live trilogy today. Welcome back. SF is I think he's actually working. He's like working with a search and rescue team. So yeah, search and rescue team today. And so he probably won't be. Maybe I can have him as a guest here to talk about his experience afterwards. But let him do his job. Let him do his job, and he's gonna. Yeah, he's on the ground, which is amazing. Amazing. I wish I could be on the ground myself. Like I wish that I would just like get up, and go and do some work and actually do some emergency management work. But we're still looking for a job. We're still looking for a job. Anybody hiring? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so maybe I'll ask him, I'll talk to him. We'll see if he would like to come and talk about what his experience is like on the ground. I will try to keep you updated tomorrow. I have to schedule out to see what time I'll be able to do it. It's probably going to be like towards the nighttime. Yeah, like I have to like work out a schedule today. And I'll update you tomorrow to see what's going on, and hopefully I'll start streaming again for just like this. Not 5 or 6 hour streams. Today was just a rare occasion. Today you get Xana, if not next week or the weekend. Yeah, of course. I'm definitely going to stream at least once a week. Once a week I am going to jot it down and stream at least once a week. I miss you guys. Like, this is fun. This is fun to hang out with all of you. This was fantastic. And this channel wouldn't be, without all of you. And yeah, it's great conversations, and I'm so happy to see all of you. Okay, everybody, have a good night. Your friendly neighborhood emergency manager, Xana here. I'm trying something new. Remember, love yourself, be yourself, and peace.